Today we're gonna talk about OTF. A lot of people always want to know why a lot of Lil Durk artists be losing their life. You know, from OTF Chino to OTF Newski to King Von, people like J Money and shit like that. And to be honest with you, you got to understand Dirk now just got to the point where you can consider him a major artist. He was grinding for like 10 years, and a lot of people didn't understand that when he said that he was signing artists, which means he was pretty much just co-signing artists, bringing them on tour with him, letting them do songs, being in their videos. But as far as giving them signing bonuses, making them rich, giving them money to feed their families, Dirk wasn't doing that in the beginning. So to the naked eye, when guys like Newski was saying he signed and shit like that, these guys were still in the hood. You got to understand, Newski got killed in the hood. Chino got killed in the hood. King Von got killed on some wild shit. So that's what I mean by that. A lot of these guys are not protected by the money. It ain't like they live in Beverly Hills or they live in Soho. They live in mansions. A lot of these artists you be seeing be getting 20 million, 10 million, 5 million views. They still be living in Inglewood, living in North Lawndale, walking through those communities. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes the hood will protect you because they know you got a bright future. But in the cases of Chino, he inherited Lil Durk beef. You have to understand that. I'm not saying Chino went in this shit, because Chino was involved in shit before he became the managers and shit like that. But you know, Chino's death was because of Lil Durk. Not saying anything Durk did, but the ops and enemies of Lil Durk, it took that shit out on Chino. The same thing happened with Newski. Lil Durk enemies and Lil Durk ops took that shit out on Newski. I'm not saying Newski wasn't dirty in the streets, doing shit in the streets, but he died on some beef that was inherited from the OTF brand. So, you know, the same thing with King Von. I don't think Dirk led in the right way with telling him, man, fuck that street shit, bro. Let's build a career. We got opportunities to take care of our families and shit. We gonna move the right way. Security. We're not gonna be on the front line with some bullshit start. He didn't do that. You get what I'm saying? This is what happened when you sign with an artist. When your leader is 20 something years old, you got to understand that shit like this can happen. And those are the reasons why, you know, those guys lost their life. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of street shit going on in Chicago, too. Because you got to remember, before they were rapper, they were just regular people who had a life. So, you know, sometimes that shit will come back and hunt you. You get what I'm saying? One thing about Dirk, though, that concerned me, you would think after King Von death, after all these guys who died, that Dirk is gonna make a conscious effort to make sure shit rolls the right way. Man, a month later, Kayla be out there fighting. And I understand Dirk can control a grown woman, but I think if Dirk would have put something in her ear and told her, look, we ain't gonna move like that. Your brother just died like that in a fist fight on the camera. Why you want a fist fight on the camera? You know, that's why I said you're gonna call yourself the voice now. You're gonna have to lead these guys the right way. You can't just send them to their grave. I'm not saying you can't spit your pain. I'm not saying you can't spit your life. You know, music is a reflection of what you've been through. I'm not really knocking that. I'm just saying, if you're gonna call yourself the voice and all your artists, you're gonna lead to the graveyard, to lead to the penitentiary. Nigga, I don't think you're the voice. I think you're the silencer. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to judge nobody, man, because I understand, you know, you got to, sometimes if you wear a size 9, you can't really judge a motherfucker that wears a size 10. You know, you can't fit them shoes. But when it comes to Lil Durk, man, I think that's the reason why a lot of his artists end up losing their life, is because um, he wasn't really rich in the beginning. He faked that shit off. You know, a lot of those guys was faking that rich life off. Don't get me wrong, he got the bag now. But in the beginning, he was faking that rich life off, you know? So when he signed artists, those guys were still stuck in the hood. Even though he was somewhere in Los Angeles and Atlanta in a mansion, nice neighborhood, eating gluten-free cereal, wearing designer robes and slippers, while his homies was in the beef. You get what I'm saying? And that's why guys died. Then you got to understand, Dirk not active. Even though a lot of you guys don't understand that, he not active in the streets. Even though he be dissing dead ops and all kind of shit like that, he not active. He not riding around. He not sliding. He not doing this. But he might be funding it. And I'm not saying he funding it, because that's what the feds is saying. That's why he got to be careful, because the feds is making it look like he funding all the killings and the drugs and the dope dealing and shit going on. So the bigger he get, and then he calling himself the king of Chicago and all kind of shit like that, the higher he rises, the more he's going to put his homies and the artists that he signed in dangerous positions. You know, to be honest with you, I don't think this gonna be the last OTF artist that had something happen to him. Now I'm not gonna wish death on nobody, but I'm just saying the way he moving, I'm seeing like he gonna take the boss role. He let niggas do what they want to do, and I understand that. But after 4, 5 deaths, you would think a nigga would step in. But I'm gonna be doing more blogs. Like I always say, I want you to hit the subscribe button right now so you can be one of the first people to get this blog. It's the homie truth.